So, Cody, what do you want to talk about, huh?
Okay guys, so if you've been keeping up with WWE this year, I don't have to tell you that the $5 billion Netflix deal is going to change everything. But there is a hidden detail in this Netflix contract that a lot of people are overlooking. A game-changing detail I don't see any other channel really talking about right now. The 2025 brand split will give rise to a WWE that we've never seen before. We're gonna get into the weeds here at Kayfabe Forever, and stick with me cause it's all gonna tie back in the end and you're not gonna wanna miss this one.
Well, that's because the transfer window is about to open and Nick Aldis put a little call in to talk about possibly bringing the greatest in-ring technician of all time,
Der Ringgeneral Gunther,
to SmackDown.
If the most recent SmackDown taught us anything, it's that WWE is going to shake things up heading into the year of 2025. With Raw going to Netflix in January, there are a lot of changes happening within the company, and more specifically, within the roster. You see, in this past week alone, WWE teased the move for Chad Gable and American Made to SmackDown. Carmelo Hayes is possibly leaving to Raw, and the biggest reveal of them all is Raw's World Heavyweight Champion Gunther is in negotiations with SmackDown GM Nick Aldis. Now, Gunther didn't have a match on SmackDown this week. He didn't even have a promo. There was no video package. Hell, the man didn't even say a word. I mean, blink and you would have missed this segment.
Good conversation. Very good.
But this short interaction between Gunther and Aldis said a hell of a lot. And here's why. You see, Triple H and Nick Khan have made this Netflix deal out to be the biggest game changer in all of WWE history. They're comparing this Netflix debut to WrestleMania in terms of scale and spectacle. Triple H even went on record to say that this era will be called the Netflix era, and it will be bigger and better than the Attitude Era ever was. I mean, it's a $5 billion deal. Of course, WWE is going to do everything in their power to hype this one up and succeed on the Netflix platform. And what better way to do that than to have the most star-studded roster in all of pro wrestling? So it only makes sense that the face of the company, Cody Rhodes, and his WWE Universal Championship would move to Raw then. Right? I mean, Cody is already announced to attend the debut episode on January 6th, and The Rock is in all of the promotions for this. Coincidence? I think not. So you might be thinking, okay, dude, yeah, that's cool. That's a pretty obvious observation though. And yes, you'd be right. I'm far from the first person to point all of this out. But here is what many people are forgetting in all of this Netflix talk. The not so minor detail that we mentioned at the start of this video. Monday Night Raw is moving to streaming on Netflix. Yes, but SmackDown is staying on cable television, right? Well, yes and no. You see, here in the US, Netflix will host Raw and Raw alone, but for everyone else, for the entire international market, Netflix will be the official hub for everything WWE, including SmackDown. You might see where I'm going with this, but stick with me here. If SmackDown is on Netflix exclusively for the international fans, then wouldn't it be in WWE's best interest to have a SmackDown roster that reflects the international audience? Okay, what I'm trying to say here is SmackDown will become the brand for international superstars. Wrestlers that may have a bigger following or test better with international fans than they do here in the US. Superstars like Sami Zayn, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, New Catch Republic, JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dragon Lee, Shinsuke Nakamura, Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Ilya Dragunov, perhaps even Drew McIntyre, and last but definitely not least, the ring general himself, Gunther. Okay, so with all that in mind, I foresee a brand swap for our world champions, but it goes deeper than that. This changes the brand identity of each weekly show. Raw will be the overall flagship brand, and SmackDown will be something new, the destination for international audiences and the superstars that represent them. And listen, you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at the road to WrestleMania 41, for example. In a recent video, which I'll link in the description below, we talk about WWE's major plans to go more global in the coming year than ever before. WWE just announced that they're going to have an unprecedented 11-city tour of the UK and Europe in March of 2025, leading to WrestleMania 41. The road to WrestleMania is the peak season of all WWE. We usually get the most high-profile appearances, the biggest storyline developments, and the most important episodes of weekly television during that time, right? And where did WWE choose to spend those precious TV hours? Well, the Netherlands, Italy, and even Austria, just to name a few. It's become clear to us that WWE is investing more and more into international markets, and honestly, I think it's best for all of us, even the US fans included. If my predictions are correct, and this Netflix deal leads to a major brand swap that sees international superstars like Gunther and Drew McIntyre moving to SmackDown, not only does Gunther get some fresh opponents so his current championship reign doesn't feel like an over-glorified sequel to his Intercontinental Championship reign.
Also,
realistically, Drew McIntyre cannot be on the same brand as CM Punk without wanting to murder the man every week. And also with this new approach, we get to give some shine to international superstars that may have been overlooked in the past. Fans of more niche wrestling styles like lucha libre or like catch wrestling will probably want to tune into SmackDown in the coming years. I think we'll get more technical matches on SmackDown, hence the signing of wrestlers like Chad Gable and American Made to the Blue brand. Meanwhile, Raw will be more sports entertainment heavy with a spotlight on promos, vignettes, and long-form storytelling with the likes of mega stars like Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, and possibly even LA Knight. Which leads me to another major question lingering in the wake of all this trade talk. The big question that I want to pose to all of you watching right now. If Cody Rhodes and Gunther are really swapping brands, what do we do about the Raw and SmackDown titles? Do we see the women's champions also swapping? Do the mid-card titles also shift brands? I mean, they're all like carbon copies of each other. Do the champions just swap belts altogether? God, I hope not. Remember Becky and Charlotte? Fuck that. But as always, guys, if you want your voice heard, if you want to shoot the shit with wrestling fans, drop your hot takes in the comments below. There's nothing like community, and if you comment, like, and subscribe, I will shout you out in the next video. But only if you want me to. If you don't, I respect your privacy. Either way, I read each and every comment, so trust me when I say your voice will be heard. That's the beauty of supporting a growing community like ours, after all. But with all that, I just want to say thank you guys for joining me on this journey, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. So what do you think? Am I off my rocker, or is SmackDown about to become the hardcore international show of the new age? If so, what do we do with all these title belts, man? How do you book this? Please, let me know. Until next time, thanks for watching.